stories 25 years before and after. We will be hearing many personal stories on the issue of human rights violation through taxation, with the focus on the Taiji Men tax case in Taiwan. Right now, it's actually a special time because of the pandemic. We as humanity have to overcome this together, but it's a great opportunity for us to take advantage of virtual platforms like this to further our discussions regardless of time and boundaries. So today we'd like to wish everyone well on the note that first, we fight for a fair taxation, fair laws, and first, we gotta be able to protect ourselves and prevent ourselves from the pandemic. And first, we gotta make sure that we are all safe. And to start off the meeting with these wishes for all of you that we can work together on.
And as we focus today on the case of Taiji Men. As a background of Taiji Men is a Qigong martial art menpai. It's a place we practice Qigong martial art for the betterment for ourselves and for the world. The core value of Taiji Men has been passed down for thousands of years through traditional method. However, in 1996, in an attempt to shut down Taiji Men, the government of Taiwan violated basic human rights by illegally prosecuted Taiji Men Shifu, Shimu, and disciples. Until today, the government refused to recognize its wrongdoings and continue the illegal acts, and even spread false rumors about Taiji Men. So first, on this event, we would like to show you a video reenacting what happened this day, today, 24 years ago. So let's watch this video together.
A question of justice. The Taiji Men tax case in Taiwan. Taiwan is known as a beacon of democracy in a region plagued by dictators. Yet, in 2020, thousands took to the streets to protest serious violations of human rights on the island. They were members of Taiji Men, a Taiwanese spiritual movement based on esoteric Taoism. It promotes a holistic development of mind and body, rooted in the practice of Qigong, including teachings about martial arts and other traditional techniques. Thousands of Taiji Men members regularly bring culture to the world through events that have been praised by political authorities, both internationally and in Taiwan. Taiji Men Qigong Academy was founded in 1966 by Dr. Hong Daozi, who is also well known throughout the world for his promotion of world peace and dialogue between religions and cultures.
I could see Taiji Men having a very, very positive effect for Taiwanese society.
Dr. Hong's path as a spiritual teacher has not been easy. Religious liberty is something Taiwan has achieved through a bumpy road only. In 1996, largely for political reasons, the government cracked down on religious and spiritual movements, accused of supporting opposition political parties. The campaign also targeted Taiji Men, although it had not taken political sides. On December 19, 1996, Taiji Men facilities were raided, and Hong was arrested. He and his wife's assets, including private holdings not connected with Taiji Men, were frozen. These actions were carried out upon orders of Taipei Court Prosecutor Ho Guanren, who developed a personal vendetta against Hong and Taiji Men, and was later recognized by Taiwan's Control Yuan, the body entrusted with checking illegal activities by public officials. Prosecutor Ho promoted a self-help association of so-called victims of Taiji Men, which was found by the Taipei District Court to be a false organization whose leaders had created bogus claims. The court also found that there were no victims. On April 15, 1997, Prosecutor Ho indicted Hong, who was freed on bail on May 26th, his wife and 3 Taiji Men members for operating a fraudulent cult. Ho even accused Hong of raising goblins, something which is totally foreign to Taiji Men's practices. From his public statements, it looked like Prosecutor Ho was the one who really believed in goblins. Between April and June 1997, Prosecutor Ho wrote to state and local administrations ordering the dissolution of Taiji Men, and even that water and electricity supplies to Taiji Men facilities in Taipei be cut. The Ministry of the Interior and local governments later annulled these orders and declared them illegal, as no decision had yet been rendered against Hong. In fact, Prosecutor Ho's case eventually collapsed. On September 25, 2003, Dr. Hong and his co-defendants were acquitted of all charges by the Taipei District Court. On December 13, 2005, the High Court of Taipei confirmed on appeal the first-degree verdict favorable to Taiji Men. On July 13, 2007, the Criminal Division of the Supreme Court of Taiwan pronounced the final acquittal of Taiji Men defendants, declaring them innocent of all charges. Compensation for the wrongful detention was given to Hong and his co-defendants. However, a byproduct of Prosecutor Ho's ill-fated actions remained. Instigated by Prosecutor Ho, the National Tax Bureau accused Hong of tax evasion and issued tax bills for the years 1991 through 1996. What was the basis of these claims? As it happens in most spiritual movements, members of Taiji Men, who are called Dizi, offer money as a gift to Hong, whom they recognize as their Shifu, or master. These gifts are included in so-called red envelopes. The National Tax Bureau claimed that the content of the red envelopes should not be considered as a gift, but as a tuition fee members pay for receiving training in a so-called cram school, meaning a school where students engage in intensive study of a subject for a short period of time. Gifts are not taxable, while cram schools' tuition fees are. In Taiwan, there are many Qigong and martial arts organizations, and none has ever been taxed for gifts given to their masters. The Ministry of Education in Taiwan, which has direct regulatory authority over cram schools, declared 3 times, from 1997 through 2000, that Taiji Men is not a cram school. Taiji Men is indeed not a cram school. In 1999 and 2000, both Taiwan's finance minister and deputy finance minister publicly stated that since the Taiji Men tax prosecution derived from a criminal case, if Hong and his co-defendants will be acquitted in the criminal court, then the tax claims would be withdrawn as well. However, this did not happen. Hong and his co-defendants were acquitted of all criminal charges. Yet the National Tax Bureau continued to claim that the money in the red envelopes was a disguised cram school tuition fee and maintained the tax bills. Note that the 2007 Supreme Court decision that acquitted Hong and his co-defendants from all criminal charges explicitly stated that they were not guilty of tax evasion. In 2002, following instructions by the Ministry of Finances, the National Tax Bureau conducted a random survey among Taiji Men Dizi to determine whether they regarded their contributions as gifts or tuition fees. All the 206 Dizi who responded indicated that they considered their contributions as gifts. However, the Tax Bureau declared that only 9 respondents had clearly indicated that their contributions were gifts. The statement was false, but the Tax Bureau refused to release the answers to the survey. Based on the Bureau's false statement about the survey, the Ministry of Finances refused to rectify the tax bills against Hong and Taiji Men. They appealed to administrative courts, and Taiwan's Supreme Administrative Court ruled in favor of Taiji Men on August 6, 2009. On July 17, 2010, the manipulation of the survey was exposed at a public hearing in the Legislative Yuan, i.e. Taiwan's parliament. After these developments, the National Tax Bureau agreed that a new open survey should be carried out. This happened only in 2011, and results were disclosed in 2012, revealing that there had been 7,401 respondents, and all had answered that they regarded the content of the red envelopes as gifts. The National Tax Bureau had promised to be guided by the results of the survey, yet they reacted by proposing to consider 50% of the money received in the red envelopes as gifts and 50% as tuition fees. This was obviously not consistent with the unequivocal results of the survey. Taiji Men thus started another long journey through Taiwanese courts, supported by legislators and other public authorities, and by human rights organizations throughout the world. From this long and painful struggle, they emerged victorious. In 2018, the Supreme Administrative Court ruled that the content of the red envelopes should be treated as gifts rather than as tuition fees. The basis of the 20-year persecution of Taiji Men by the National Tax Bureau had finally been removed. Unfortunately, this was not the end of Taiji Men's tribulations. The National Tax Bureau had initially alleged tax evasion for 6 years, from 1991 to 1996. After the 2018 decision by the Supreme Administrative Court, it agreed to reduce the tax bills for the years 1991, 1993, 1994, 1995, and 1996 to zero. But based on the claim that for 1992 a decision had been rendered by the Supreme Administrative Court in 2006 and was final, it maintained the tax bill for 1992, including interest. Both the Dizi and the public opinion in Taiwan understood that this was a political vendetta after Taiji Men had publicly proved the National Tax Bureau wrong. Clearly, what happened in 1992 was not different from what happened in the other years, and justice would have mandated to deal with it in the same way. Patently wrong decisions can always be revised if justice has to be served. The tax authorities treated Taiji Men as a cram school and taxed it accordingly. Since the finding of fact was incorrect, the application of law was wrong as well. Therefore, the incorrect court order should not be executed. For example, when you clearly know that a person is wrongfully convicted and sentenced to death, you should not execute the person. You should try to correct the mistake and uphold justice. If the person is killed as per the sentence, then he is unjustly killed by the government. Now that the tax authorities have admitted their mistakes and the criminal court has ordered state compensation, it is unjust for the government to auction the assets of Taiji Men's leader. If it does, that is theft of his property. No appeal by Taiwanese or international politicians, scholars, or human rights organizations stopped this vendetta. Not even courts of law were heard. On May 5th and July 23, 2020, Taipei High Administrative Court wrote twice to the National Tax Bureau of the Central Area, asking them to treat 1992 as the other years were treated. All this was to no avail. In August 2020, properties belonging to Hong were seized and auctioned, then confiscated after the auction was not successful, despite massive peaceful street protests in Taiwan and appeals by international NGOs. It may seem that this is a battle about money, but it isn't for Taiji Men. They spent in legal fees only in 24 years of struggles more than they would have paid had they settled with the National Tax Bureau. Insisting on conscience and justice, they did not settle. By settling, they would have admitted that they had been guilty of tax evasion, something that is both against their principles and factual truth. On the other hand, we can suspect that it really was about money for some bureaucrats. In cases of alleged tax evasion, they get a bonus on the tax bills, and some did get the bonus for the 1992 Taiji Men tax bill. It is not surprising that scholars and human rights activists from all over the world raised their voice in support of Taiji Men. Theirs is not a minor case hanging on technicalities. It has widespread implications, both for Taiwan and the world. Significantly, already in 2005, the Control Yuan had listed the Taiji Men case as one of the most important human rights incidents where it had to intervene. Taiwan is in a difficult moment in its history. Taiwan needs international friends, and it also benefits from its well-deserved public image of a country where, unlike in mainland China, human rights and freedom of belief are respected. The Taiji Men case is a relic of a bygone era, when religious liberty was still not fully respected in Taiwan. The petty tax vendetta against Taiji Men, however, raises doubts on whether the problems of the past have been fully overcome, and is detrimental to Taiwan's international image. The fact that Taiji Men's properties were seized and auctioned on the eve of the establishment of Taiwan's National Human Rights Commission on August 1st, 2020, was an unfortunate coincidence, which contributed to the impression that the official rhetoric is at odds with the behavior of some rogue bureaucrats. The case has also international implications. It is a perpetual temptation for politicians and others in power to persecute religious and spiritual minorities that they, for whatever reason, do not like through the misuse of the tax system. The European Court of Human Rights is just one among several authorities that have ruled repeatedly that tax bills cannot be used to discriminate against religious and spiritual movements a government does not approve of.
The European Court of Human Rights stated in a ruling in 2011 in the case Association of Jehovah's Witnesses versus France that through its tax administration, France had unduly harassed a group that had been illegitimately put on a blacklist of so-called harmful cults. The court went to explain that monetary offers made by devotees to their spiritual leaders or organizations are obviously gifts. The court concluded that considering donations as taxable payments is a typical way that some governments use and misuse to discriminate against movements that they don't like. But this is illegal under international human rights law.
I think that it is as bad, if not worse, to allow an injustice to continue as it is to create the injustice in the first place. And that is what's happened here with Tai Ji Men.
Tai Ji Men are not fighting for themselves only. They raise a crucial question of justice, freedom of belief, and human rights. In this sense, we are all Tai Ji Men. The injustice perpetrated against them is injustice against all of us. Their victory will be our victory.
Just as the video said, we hope that there is victory to this case, as Daniel Webster and Chief Justice John Marshall has once said, the power to tax is the power to destroy. So we know that this is an area where we all as citizens need to care for to make sure that there is the right balance within the government and the people. And so as we saw in the video, that there is still injustice in this case because of the byproduct of Prosecutor Ho's ill-fated actions, where he instigated the National Taxation Bureau of Taiwan to issue a tax bill to Dr. Hong, accusing him of tax evasion, which was later deemed by the court to be a false accusation. So there are 2 points I noticed from this set of history. That the first one is, this all happened at the same period of time where Tai Ji Men was said to have been caused fraud, and also as a cram school. Knowingly around the world, there are laws against this type of accusation or treatment on the same person or the same case. In Taiwan, it also exists. It's called double jeopardy. So in this case, where the tax bill was given at the same time before the court's decision, it is actually a violation of this rule in Taiwan, meaning that this bill is actually illegal and should be abolished immediately. So second point I like to point out is that the Ministry of Education has declared 3 times from 1997 to 2000 that Tai Ji Men is not a cram school. And as you saw in the video, with a cram school, it's a contract. I give you how much money and I get a set amount of courses. This is a contract within a cram school, and that's why you get taxed. But however, Tai Ji Men is not. It's not in the same setting. With the monetary gift that Dizi give to Shifu is to show appreciation. In return, they don't get like a set of class plans or amount of time that they can stay. Many of them have formed a bond between Shifu, and traditionally in Taiwan, none of the other organizations have been taxed. So these are 2 points that I saw as very crucial in the whole set. And so we wish that throughout today, many more of our Taiji Men who have joined us will be sharing their personal stories to highlight the injustices, not only the 2 points that I shared about, but many, many details show that this case must be a success for fairness and justice to exist around the world. So it could be a great example. And so now we'd like to welcome the victims who have joined us today to maybe painfully, but to share what had happened in their past so we can know more about what has happened in this injustice. So first, we would like to invite Taiji Men Jim Wang from China to share with us. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, hello everyone. Okay, I think this is a very sobering to recall for December in 1996. My family and I become to the sinner and a member of an evil group suddenly. And the reason is came from television news report from, the affair accused by a government officer. Okay, I joined into Taiji Men in 1993. The year I am 20 years old, single, and work hard and in my father's factory. Due to the gap of a generation, okay, I was unhappy and bad temper. I think all people around me cannot understand me. I feel depressed, and during the period I was staying home in those years. Okay, since May of 1993, okay, there is one friend who have a business relationship with us. She recommended me to join to the Taiji Men Qigong Academy. Per a very simple speech, and just like to improve my health condition is the only topical I met, the only topical we talk about. And I only make about 5 minutes to make a decision to join to the Taiji Men. Okay, and I do got a beam fry after I joined to the Taiji Men Qigong Academy. Firstly, I do feel much energyful after a Qigong exercise, and I got much better sleep, okay, after hard work, and I do feel qi, okay, the kind of peaceful and joyful feel in my mind. Okay, this is the first time in my life I feel like this. Okay, I cannot share with anyone about the feeling, but I do feel that indeed. Okay, for this reason, I trying to share with my parents to join Taiji Men Qigong Academy too. Due to they saw what I changed, okay, so they are happy to join to Taiji Men with me because they want to change it to either, okay, change it too. So, okay, so after about 2 months later, okay, my parents also recommend my younger and older sister to join Taiji Men. So, all our family is a member of Taiji Men. Actually, I met my wife in Taiji Men. So all friends and classmates and also family relatives, business support, supplier and customer, all of them know we are member of Taiji Men. We are Taiji Men family. And, certainly, we become to a evil, one of a member of an evil group. Okay, so this, the reason is, the Taiji Men, controlled by ghosts who be fed by Shifu, okay, the ghost, the ghost. Okay, So this, I still remember that the friend and the reaction. Some of them trying to keep distant with us. Some of them laugh at us. But everyone don't know what is really change in my mind and what really happens in my soul we got from Taiji Men. How can they just in charge to us, unreasonable government officer personally dislike and his own guest. So you should know the image, a kind of a herd of a helpless with innocent, and I still remember that. So actually, this is a very feel her. When I saw the video, we just saw about 5 minutes ago. Okay, the image is still just like a life to kill in my heart. In that time, Taiji Men is a middle of my life. All my change came from that. So this I do respect from Shifu. I got a lot of brother and sister, 师兄 and 师姐. They help each other. So I do feel something good and peaceful and joyful in that. But government should be help people. Government officers should be service with people, not pull them from the people and kill people like this way. So I'm sorry that I speak very bad English, but I sure everybody can understand me. Thank you, Lisa, for my sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy, for sharing your experience. I can't begin to imagine, like you said, as you watched the video, these images came back. So the stress that you must have felt back then when everyone misunderstood you, and the sadness that came from that. So thank you for sharing it once again. And for those, our audience who may not know, Qigong has been around for years, for thousands of years. And for Taiji Men as a Menpai, it's been passed down from Shifu to Dizi, Shifu to Dizi for many, many, many years. So it's a tradition where they hope through the practice of Qigong and the cultivation of the heart that every individual, like Jimmy shared, could gain better health and more of a peaceful mindset. So it's a group that really focuses on physical and mental well-being, but to have to go through such persecution and injustice is unimaginable. And for Jimmy, I think it's commendable that you were able to persist until today and stand by the truth and justice. So thank you once again. Next, we'd like to invite Brenda Chen, who's also Taiji Men Dizi from Northern California. Hi, Brenda.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brenda Chen. Because my dad, I became a Taiji Men Dizi. My dad was diagnosed with fulminant hepatitis at the age of 36. Although he went to see Western doctors or took Chinese medicine, his condition didn't improve. He saw a newspaper ad about Taiji Men and then joined Taiji Men. After practicing Taiji Men Qigong for several months, he regained his health and happiness. Therefore, he brought my mom, my sister, and me to join the Taiji Men Energy family. In September 1996, I just became a freshman in college. On December 19th, investigators from the Investigation Bureau under the Ministry of Justice rang our doorbell. I didn't know who they were and what happened. After waking up my dad, I went to school directly. When I came home, I found that our house was searched. What they wanted was to find evidence to support the false claim that Taiji Men had violated the law. On Christmas Eve, my dad, Shifu, Shimu, and two other brothers and sisters were in jail. Even though no one accused my dad of any wrongdoing, the prosecutor, Ho Kwan-ren, violated the principle of secret investigation and released the fake information to the media, which falsely reported that Taiji Men invaded Texas, defrauded people, and raised goblins. I dare not to tell my classmates that I practiced Qigong at Taiji Men because I was afraid to discriminate against, not to mention to wear the Taiji Men uniform on the street. Because our house was searched, sometimes I would wonder if our phone was being taped. Moreover, My two uncles living in the United States, they believed the fake news reports. Because my dad was in jail and could not tell the truth to them, my mom had to deal with their complaints. Because there were too many gossips and rumors about Taiji Men at her workplace, my mom, who worked for the Ministry of Justice, was forced to retire. During my final exam in 1997, my mom was also interrogated. That night, I could not focus on my study because I worried my mom would be wrongfully detained as well. Around midnight, my Taiji Men brothers and sisters came to ask if my mom was home. Years later, I finally learned that the prosecutor wanted my dad to say Shifu's Kung Fu is fake. So the prosecutor intentionally let my dad see my mom in the investigation office. The prosecutor threatened that my mom would be put in jail too, and then nobody would take care of my sister and me, coercing my dad to testify against my Shifu. My dad listened to his conscience and told the truth, saying my Shifu's Kung Fu is real. And the prosecutor was very angry and extended my dad's detention by 2 months without any justified reason. After Shifu was released from jail, he told us to work hard, be diligent, be tolerant, and be kind. The heartwarming and positive energy at Taiji Men has allowed us to work 10 words and let go of the fears and worries. After that, my sister and I went to study abroad. She went to France, and I stay in the United States to this day. My family is separated into 3 continents. It's hard for us to see all the family members at once. In 2007, the Supreme Court declared Taiji Men innocent. There was no fraud, no tax evasion, no violation of the tax laws. In 2008, my dad received compensation for unlawful detention from the government. The government already admitted its fault, but the Taxation Bureau kept issuing illegal tax bills to Taiji Men. What's worse, this August, the Administrative Enforcement Agency forcibly auctioned my Shifu's land in Miaoli. Although Taiwan's controller and investigative prosecutors handling of the Taiji Men case and listed 8 major violations of law by the prosecutor, he didn't get any punishment. On the contrary, he even got promoted to Vice Director of Agency Against Corruption. It was very hard for us to settle down in Taiwan, as we had not received the justice we deserved in the Taiji Men case. Because before my dad passed away, he warned me if I planned to move back to Taiwan for good, I need to reconsider it. The Taiji Men case has lasted for 24 years, spanning 4 presidencies, but to this day, we haven't seen the realization of justice. In recent years, I have traveled with Dr. Hong and participated in international conferences to promote love and peace. Many international leaders admire us for what we do, but such a good organization has been bullied by the Taiwan government. 2 years ago, I was protesting with Taiji Men volunteers in front of the presidential building. Even though we were so close to the presidential office, we didn't get any positive feedback from it. Today is the 24th anniversary of the start of the Taiji Men case. 6 years ago, my dad passed away. He's still worried about Taiji Men case during his last moments. 24 years ago, I was a college freshman, but now I am 42. I wish we won't wait for the sad memories anymore. The lost time is gone forever, but we are willing to use our time and efforts to awaken people's conscience, uphold justice, and brightness toward Taiwan. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. I know many Taiji Men Dizi who are listening also know Brenda's dad. Knowing Brenda's dad personally, he was great support and always encouraged us to practice Qigong, to become healthy, to cultivate the hearts. And from Brenda's sharing, it's unfortunate that he had to be threatened, but he was brave enough to tell the truth. And we truly hope that Taiji Men will get the justice it deserves. So all of the Taiji Men Dizi who may have passed, before justice was given, could truly rest in peace knowing that everything was given back to, the justice was given back to Tai Ji Men. So we truly, truly hope for that day, so we could all celebrate as the world to know that goodness does exist in the world. So thank you, Brenda. Next, we'd like to invite Pamela Chen, Taiji Men Dizi from Los Angeles, to share her personal story.
Hello, everyone. December 1994 marks the date of persecution of Taiji Men Qigong Academy in Taiwan. Back then, I had just graduated from university and started work in a US affiliated company. My colleague gave me strange looks due to the false and negative media coverage. It was a big blow to the dignity of a young adult who was new to work. When I joined the Taiji Men Qigong Academy, I was a junior student in university. Although I was only in my early 20s, my long-term cold and poor sleep quality have troubled me for many years. After practicing Qigong, my health condition improved dramatically. Because of that, many of my family members, friends, teachers joined Taiji Men Qigong Academy after seeing my changes. I'm so happy that I brought them in to a good place in Taiji Men Qigong Academy. However, Prosecutor Ho used raising goblins, a horrifying name, and non-scientific evidence to claim Taiji Men as an evil group. The media continue to spread false news to demolish the reputation of Taiji Men Qigong Academy. It has planted a seed of doubt in people's hearts throughout Taiwan and was used as a public power to force people into fear. Many of my friends who I brought in to Taiji Men kept a considerable distance from me. They even stopped contacting me, which pained me so much. These false reports ruined their opportunity to pursue their physical and mental health in Taiji Men. At the beginning of the case, when the situation was overwhelming, Shifu, Shimu, and some of my fellow brothers and sisters were wrongly accused and were taken into detention. I really want to do something to help. Luckily, I was honored to have the opportunity to be the messenger, to help bring documents to the defense lawyer and bring the relevant information back to my fellow brothers and sisters in Taiji Men. Before going to work or during my lunch break, I will never forget the first time when I met the lawyer. He reminded me to pay attention to my personal safety. I may be tracked and trapped, and I must be cautious in taking notes. If I do not pay attention, I may be taken into the investigation bureau. Therefore, I often kept several sets of clothes in my car that I could change into at any time. The short-handed notes used in different codes to avoid influencing my brothers and sisters Taiji Men. Important messages were conveyed in person to avoid being monitored. In those days, I had never told anyone about my mental journey. I kept it in my heart for 25 years. The first-handed information given by the lawyer was so negative and untrue. It greatly shocked me. One raining day, I sat in my car alone, feel great sadness. I wept loudly and asked God, why must this happen to me? I'm less than 25 years old. Why should I see this darkness in my young life? Why is there a prosecutor in Taiwan that does know how to distinguish between true, false, right, and wrong? Am I still be able to believe that there is a democratic and legal society? Is there any hope for Taiwan? Due to the unjust case of Taiji Men, the darkness of human nature and the injustice of the system has accumulated a lot of negative emotions in me. In the past 25 years, the teaching of my grandmaster gave me wisdom and let me find the strength to move forward. He used to say, we should not let hatred rooted in our hearts. We should uphold the hope, be brave, and many more. As Taiji Men did, we must love the country and the injustice imposed by the law and tax. I hope the Taiji Men case will help Taiwan's system become better as well as end our sufferings. 9 years ago, I chose to immigrate to the United States. But every December, I miss my family in Taiwan. My shifu, my shimu, my brothers and sisters of Taiji Men. They are still on the road of rehabilitation and insist of Taiji Men on fighting the justice. On many occasions, our family returned to Taiwan, express our determination, and to stand together with our fellow brothers and sisters. Although I was overseas, I wrote to President of Taiwan, Ms. Tsai Ing-wen, and the President of the Executive Yuan, Mr. Su Zhenchang, to help on this unjust case. Unfortunately, I was only able to receive automated replies. I also presented this unjust case to the Senate of House and House of Representatives in the United States. Surprisingly, they were willing to listen to me and help write to the State Department to help ask questions and seek for support. Their attitude towards listening to people's voices was so different. They were willing to help you. I feel respected and thankful in my heart. Many Taiwanese scholars and even international experts have expressed their support for Taiji Men Academy on this long road to ending the case. Because of the defense of truth, justice, and democracy, many allies are willing to stand for it. Today is the 25th anniversary of the redress of the Taiji Men case. I will insist on doing this right thing, and so will my next generation. I sincerely hope that the Taiwanese government will also show courage to do the right thing and immediately end the persecution of Taiji Men Academy. I hope for them to have conscious confession to this group, because we are a group of kind people who use our lives to defend the injustice and democracy of Taiwan. Thank you.
Thank you, Pamela. Thank you, Pamela, for your personal experience. We all know that around the world, we are trying to end bullying in schools, in public, in many places. But when bullying comes from the government, it is horrible. It is very difficult to overcome the fear that we're getting bullied by the government. So 25 years ago, today, when the government decided to illegally search and prosecuted Taiji Men, it wasn't just the Shifu and Sumo of Taiji Men being bullied. It was everyone, every disciple in Taiji Men as well, and also affecting their families. It was a very difficult time for everybody. It was a dark winter right before Christmas. Now I'd like to show you a video of some of the brothers and sisters who personally encountered the event that day, how it affected them and how it affected their families.
我那时候我刚好在大安3楼嘛，电话一进来，啪的，那个时候树林，我记得树林广打电话说有调查局的人来了。
何宽年带了一群人，就2点45分就冲上去。那我们也不知道那些人是谁。 一群一进来就20-30个，都是壮汉的冲进来，
在门口看到有警察，然后荷枪实弹。
这个警察都，还有那个调查局的人都带枪啊，带手枪啊，那当时真的很恐怖。
因为我工厂离这边也差不多5分钟，我就过来一看，哇，那是什么这么不讲理，翻箱倒柜的啊！
拖啊柄啦吼，而且柜子还锁着，锁着因为咱无锁匙啊，伊讲你得爱开起来，无开开呢，我还弄个破。
他就很凶，就说你那个师兄钥匙再不拿来的时候，我要把他踹开。你有雄心，我一卡就应该踏落开啊！
我背的包包就刚放在会馆而已，然后他就说这个包包要收藏。
那当我到会馆的时候，看到很多记者，我当下非常的生气了哈，也非常惊讶，就说：哎，奇怪，记者怎么会知道？因为理论上像这种是一个调查的过程，怎么会有记者过来？
结果我正好要走出那个便利商店门口的时候，我就看到师傅跟着一大群我不太认识的人，就匆匆忙就在我眼前这样走过去。那其实我就走到门口，我就是望着师傅的背影，就看着师傅就这样，好像就在我前面消失这样子。
当时看到外面真的很乱的，有警车，有 SNG 车，又封锁，我们不能进去啊，就在门口那边看到。少数的师兄姐在那里，听说师傅已经跟一些师兄姐已经被带到调查局。
我们就来的时候已经，就说那时候已经都被押到里面去了，好几个师兄师姐都去。但是那时候一方面我们是在，我们想说又没有什么事情，怎么可能说会？那结果我们一方面是在筹钱啦，就是。因为如果说要交保的话，我们身上都没，那就是就是师兄师姐大家都帮忙，可以领的，可以什么的，就是有的，我们就是尽量就是凑就对了。我记得好像那我们就在那边等啊，结果说什么收押，后来他就说什么，就是我记得他还在说什么收押禁见，
我又没有犯罪，你干嘛要带我去调查站？他说你念比较久啊，那你不去。那我等一下楼下就多带几个师兄姐去这样子。
我妈当下跟我讲的电话，让我这辈子都忘不了。她就说她不知道她能够几点回到家，甚至她也不晓得是不是当天有可能回到家。她就交代我说回家要准备晚餐啊，然后要把家里打理好啊。然后那当下感觉就觉得天哪，是怎么了？为什么？就是你不知道到底外界发生什么事情，然后更可怕的是你不知道自己的妈妈会不会回来，然后那种心情是非常的紧张。后来我妈虽然就是有从调查局回来，可是我听她在转述在调查局的一个状况啊，她竟然是在那边连上厕所，然后那边的调查局的人不让她锁门，就是完全没有人权的对待，就是把我们一个清清白白练功的这样的一个修行人，然后当作是罪犯在审问这样子。
迄天就寒，迄天较像遐有寒，迄天。唔知啥特别寒，了后才叫你等去。我伫迄共款的台北市调处，我拄仔行路要过，看到师傅，师傅回头看我一下，我冇看，四眼交汇，我还把眼泪流出来。人家讲一个这么好的人，迄类，所以我的眼泪流下，用我的心等，我们知师傅，等于从那一天开始，我们就看不到师傅了，等于我第一样代志，迄阵在12点外，阮的囡仔拢伫，阮太太伫，阮太太就这样，赶快把小孩叫来，
爸爸妈妈就把我们家3个叫到他们房间，然后就把他们的存款簿一些资料拿出来，然后就跟我们讲说，我们日常开销要从哪边付钱，然后就说他们2个已经请好律师了，就叫我们不要担心。然后当下你其实并不会觉得当下，我觉得当下我其实那个感觉，我只有想到说，对啊，我们这个年纪其实 我们已经高中，当时已经高中了，就是真的，假如爸爸妈妈不在的话，我们3个小孩子，我们还是有办法，我们可以靠打工，就是你其实生活是有办法过下去的。可是我所认识的师兄师姐，他们年纪还这么小，假如真的是他们父母被抓走的话，他们该怎么办？
我们不晓得公权力会搞到什么程度，我们只知道他就这样每天给你报道，啊，师兄师姐就这样，一下你就听到这个师兄师姐被他们的人约谈，啊，一下就有那个人说他也被约谈。
在12月24号当天早上7点多，我们那时候不知道是说可以拒绝，那但是有问他说我一定要跟你走吗？好，你不走可以啊，我就把你们更多的师兄师姐全部都抓起来啊。就是这样子的话，让你觉得说啊，与其这样，那不如我去吧。
发生事情以后，当然正文师兄就没有在学校出现嘛，所以老师也会，他不敢问我，但是他会问孩子说：“哎，你爸爸发生什么事？哦，那他怎么会在电视上出现？”那我觉得孩子很单纯，他就会跟老师说：“因为爸爸要去救师父。”那个时候心情是不会形容，就是应该是蛮酸的。那因为师父师母都不在家，那我们就要很勇敢，然后天天都会到会馆。那当然那时候我们都不敢穿连功服，我们都是衣服带的，然后穿的便服。
侯宽仁姐她都每天都会在媒体上发布消息，有没有那种不实的消息这样？然后你就发现说好可怕，你就觉得说，现在那时候连住的地方那个室内电话你都不敢用，你都会觉得说是不是被窃听了？然后你都不敢用家里的电话，然后公司电话你也不太敢讲，然后你就害怕说其他师兄姐会不会被连累，所以你知道那时候所有的通讯录全部被我毁掉，你就觉得说为了不要让任何一个师兄师姐再受到伤害。
其实我们家里我也准备一个包包，随时准备哈，万一如果怎么样子哈，早晚的话，万一不巧被莫名其妙就扣进去的话哈，那至少来讲不会措手不及的。
那正文师兄他家里被搜索，他被带走的时候，他后来有打电话告诉我们，他们来过了。他用简单的一句话，我们就听懂了。然后那时我们也开始做好心理准备，可能也会到我们家搜索，少周师兄也可能会被带走。那我觉得我必须要让我的孩子先做好心理准备。我就告诉2个小孩，其实那时候老大是11岁，老二是7岁。我告诉他们说，爸爸有可能会被带走，离开这个家。那不过没关系，还有妈妈在照顾你们。
那时候进见的话，就是说，在那个我看不到三个榻榻米的地方，就在那边，你不动，不能动，也不能出去，也不能联络，不能对外沟通，不能看报纸、看电视，然后根本也不能晒太阳，太阳根本没有让你的地方晒，所以就是在那边一直待，每天就这样吃饱就睡，睡饱吃了，然后白天又不能睡觉，睡觉就找你，就把你叫起来，他不准睡觉，所以过的就是好像不是人的生活了。
结果后来就是一直就是吃了一个便当之后，就一直问，到傍晚的时分，他说那你可以回去了。那个调查员跟我讲说，太极门如果真的如你讲的这么好，你要坚持下去，风暴会过去。调查员最后再跟我讲，我说谢谢。我走出那天是耶诞12月24号，真的走出调查局门口的时候，真的是一片茫然。耶诞节，那我家人不知道我去哪里，我不知道我会不会回来。 那时候什么都没带，就只好找个公共电话亭，告诉他们我出来了。那就是我的耶诞节。然后那天一样到晚上到会馆去，我们还是过了一个含着眼泪、带着微笑，但是真的大家的笑声背后都在哭，只是告诉大家说大家耶诞节嘛。但是那个耶诞节真的是黑色的耶诞节，我们一定要维持这个家，让它灯火通明，谁都不能把我们家的灯熄掉。
As human rights violation by the government is horrible to watch. This story has been going on for the past 24 years. It must be very emotional for everybody who personally experienced it, everybody online, on this forum talking about it, and for the hundreds of people that are watching live with us right now at this moment. It's a story that we need to fight for justice in Taiwan for everybody who experiences it and everybody who's still experiencing it. And as we turn the mic to Amy, who is in Taiwan right now, who just came back from the demonstration in Taiwan to continue to fight for the injustice that's against Taiji Men using the tax and also illegal prosecution. She was on the stage during the demonstration, and she's now online with us right after the demonstration to share with us the messages and the movement that has to continue on. Amy, now you may have the mic.
Hi, everyone. I think I speak for a lot of the people and majority of the people of why we are continuing to, fight for the justice, especially on the anniversary of the Taiji Men case. And today at the demonstration, there were many of the tax victims of not just the Taiji Men case, but also other victims of, these illegal tax bills. There's also a lot of experts, youth, and people from different generations. And we're all there because of love, right? Because we love this country and we love the people, our families. And because of this love, we don't want to have this kind of illegal things happening again and again. And we want to make sure everyone has that human right that we naturally have, and we don't have to fight for it. And we could just, be able to have the justice that we deserve. And so I think I would like to welcome our next speaker, who it really is going to talk about her journey to finding, going through this road of justice. And our next speaker is Ms. Luo Zhixing.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brad O. I'm a volunteer of the volunteer of the Tax and the Legal Reform League, and also a member of the Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy. When I was 11 years old, my mother brought me into Tai Ji Men to learn from Shifu and practice Qigong. 1.5 years after I joined Tai Ji Men, the prosecutor investigated Tai Ji Men for fraud. At that time, I was in middle school. I didn't feel much about this legal act. When I learned that the court had proved Tai Ji Men's innocence and the government had compensated Shifu and the brother sister for wrongful detention, in my opinion, this case should have been closed. And in 2010, I participated in the Tai Ji Men cultural performance for Taiwan's Double 10 National Day. That is a very special year for me, because the Tai Ji Men brothers and sisters wholeheartedly celebrate the National Day with love and joy. Yet at the same time, they also angrily protest the illegal tax bill issued to Tai Ji Men. It was with such extreme emotion that urged me to look into the detail of Tai Ji Men tax case in the past years. That after understanding the detail, I came to realize that in the past decade, Tai Ji Men has gone through many challenges. The brothers and sisters tried very hard to fight with Taiwanese government for justice. In Taiwan, litigation with the government is a very difficult journey, especially in tax cases. No kidding. Winning the lawsuit in tax case is harder than winning 10 NBA championship, but Taiji Men brother and sister made it. This is completely different from my expression of Taiji Men. In my expression, Taiji Men is a super positive and friendly group which has been spreading love and peace all over the world. But actually, spreading positive energy among the world and preventing government from breaking the law are what Taiji Men has been striving to do in recent years. The National Day performance and protests I was part of are just a short version of what has been going on between the government and the Taiji Men for these years. After that, I joined the Tax and Legal Reform League. I, who normally would care only about myself, began to care about Taiwan tax system. I started to join protests and activity in support of tax reform. I hope slogan, I'm Rosai, and post correct tax knowledge on social media, and attend taxation forum on the weekend. Once, I heard a woman crying in front of the Taiwan High Court. She cried and said that money gives you favor in court. The poor will never win. I am innocent. If it had been me from 10 years ago, I was thinking, gosh, you should cry at home, not here. You shouldn't disturb others. But at the moment, her cry really touched my heart. Maybe we were facing the same situation. I didn't know how to help her at that time. All I did was live with a heavy heart. After several years of hard work, the Taiwanese government still would not admit their mistake. However, our respect Shifu never asked us to stop. He encouraged us to use different methods, work together with the expert who share the same idea with us. Gradually, I start to hear some of my friends resolve their tax issues successfully. I'm really happy for them, even though Taiji Men still struggling with the illegal tax bill. And this year, the Taiwan government illegally enforced auction on Taiji Men's property. At the end of this year, Taiwan police illegally detain and interrogate tax reform volunteers. I feel frustrated about it, but it won't stop me. It reminds me that there's a Chinese who constantly hold a slogan in front of a supermarket in Fremont. I see him there every time. I don't have any comment why he wants to demonstrate, but I admire his perseverance. Every time I pass him by, I encourage him with a smile. The Taiji Men tax case has told me that I should care about not only my own health, but also the health of the societal systems. It takes persistence and diligence to push for positive change in the system. The positive attitude, caring, and perseverance that I learned from the fighting for Taiji Men's justice not only helped me get rid of selfishness and laziness, but also helped me to gain recognition at work. Thanks God, thank you Taiji Men, thank you everyone.
Thank you for your story. It's very touching. And then we know that doesn't matter what we experience, doesn't matter what stage of life we come from, we all have the responsibility to fight for justice for ourselves and for everyone. So next, we'd like to introduce a person at a different stage of life, a student who's also fighting for justice, who's fighting for a fair chance for his future and for everybody else's future. So Bobby, please tell us, what have you been doing, how you got involved with the movement?
Hello, everyone. I'm Bobby Chen, and I'm an animation student from Canada, and currently staying in Taiwan with my family. After coming back to Taiwan, I had the opportunity to dive deeper into understanding the unfair tax problems that are occurring in Taiwan. And really not only the tax problems, but also the abuse of human rights by the Taiwanese government. And the worst part is that the illegal corrupted doings by the system and specific government officials have been covered up. The government has been covering up their wrongdoings instead of facing the problems. They manipulate the media, news media, secretly changing court papers, producing fake evidence, then hiding their illegal doings from the people. And can you believe this kind of government is governing Taiwan? In this fast-paced society, people nowadays are afraid of trouble, afraid of problems. People escape from problems that don't relate to them. And so a lot of people in Taiwan aren't aware of the real things that the government has been doing. I was lucky to have the chance to understand the problems. So I went on sharing my knowledge with my friends and to the people on the street with facts and to spread awareness, because it is just so important for everyone to be aware of what is happening and to work together to fix the problems. And facts are so important. It is easy to get misled by the media's fake news, especially when the government can control it and swing the news one-sided without putting out evidence or any facts. It's just like brainwashing people, giving false information. It's messing with people's brains. And this should really be a huge crime. And there should really be apologies from the media and the government to the Taiwanese people, and especially to the innocent victims. And in the past few months in Taiwan, I have used because I'm an animation student, and I have used my drawing talent and made illustrations of specific corrupted government officials in Taiwan who are still not willing to end their illegal doings and face their problems. From my illustrations, I wish to spread more awareness to everyone, to let people understand the facts of these officials, like how they treated us. And I would like to share some drawings with everyone. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see this. Yeah, this is one of the government official that has been promoting students, students who study, who work for the government, telling them that you guys should find people to pick on, and give them fines. The more fine you give them, the more I'll pay you students, And this is one of the official that has been manipulating the Taiwanese media and to swing things in one way and without facts, brainwashing people. And this guy is one of the guy that changed court papers. Yeah, and it's just a lot of wrongdoings, and I wish to show the people what's happening with my drawings. And if we have officials who aren't willing to face their problems, how can they lead and govern our country? And we really need everyone to push our country system out of corruption. I'm sure everyone is talented in their ways and abilities. If we make good use of them, we definitely can make a big difference. After all, we all have responsibility to take part in improving this world. This is where our conscience takes part and pushes us forward. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. And I think it's really great that youth like ourselves are stepping up, because we do offer a different perspective, especially standing up and fighting for justice. And next, we would like to welcome Dan Mooney-Aaron. She also worked with a lot of youth from global initiatives to try to fight for justice. Mooney, if you would like to start.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm here today and I stand for human rights. It is not something new. The core of its existence coming from the people with no conscience. There always been a war between the good and the evil. Many leaders came to this planet, like Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Moses, and so on and so forth. And they have awakened the conscience of billions of people around the world. This is why I'm very good, and I know there are a lot of good people in this world. Media has a power to influence and make a fake news real because it's owned by 5 people here. Then they have underneath media, it also owned by these people. So they can start one movement, Taiji Men is this, and all of these people will do the same thing. And at the end of the day, they can make a fake news a real news because people believe if it's in the news, it's a real news. And this is one of the reasons I don't watch TV too much anyway. I'm here today because I found Dr. Hong is one of the men of the 19th and 20th century who has influenced thousands of people emotionally, spiritually, consciously, productive citizen, happy citizen, balanced citizen, because I've been a coach and I've seen a lot in 40 years. But he has created a very productive society. And the problem is, I think there's a war between the evil and the good. When you're too good, the evil always fight against you. And about the red envelope, I'm going to give you an example. I had a beauty school and most of my students were Chinese, Vietnamese, Taiwanese, Latinas, a few African American because of the demographic of my area. And these students used to give me red envelopes for my birthdays, Christmas. I still receive them for all the holidays. And I used to give them red envelope for every single Chinese New Year's. I had 275 students. I would put one new $1 bill and I made everybody happy. So this is a traditional way of saying thank you to Shifu, saying thank you to a teacher. He's not a teacher, he's also a father, he is a mentor for all these people. As you have heard, it broke my heart to see all these brothers and sisters suffering so much, with so much pain. But I think we will all get through this pain because the voice will always be heard. If we're not heard in Taiwan, we're going to make sure the world is hearing the voice of Taiji Men. It's a human right issue. It's an issue of bullying, which always been existed on this planet. These people don't even take donation from anyone. So what is the problem? Everything is done in-house. And I think his energy together becomes so powerful and so energetic, it actually threatens the evil. So the evil is there to hurt them for no reason because it satisfies them. And I'm coming from the spiritual background, and this is why I'm looking at it. I believe as a global peace leader, this is my duty to serve a human right issue of this caliber has been suffering for 25 years. And this Taiwanese government has to reform and eradicate totally from their system because it is immoral, it is unjust. The behavior is bullying and is causing a lot of pain to all his disease. And I know this will happen because I am part of Dr. Hong's Tai Chi Men. And I'm here because It made me healthy. I'm in the car accident. I'm healing myself because I practice Qigong and meditation. And this keeps me centered and I'm ready to handle what I need to handle. So we're going to have Worldwide Youth Congress, which is going to be the voice of human right, not only for Tai Chi Men, human right for the world. And this youth will make a positive change. I think adults have too many issues. So youth, I know we have already 1,000 youth with us, and this youth will make a positive change. And I'm praying that one day this will fulfill the fruits, because he could have adjusted, but he didn't do it because it is not moral to accept an accusation when it is not done. He is an innocent victim of bully, is an innocent victim of evil. So this is going to be over because we are all in together and we are appealing to the Chinese government. If they don't want to hear it, we're going to put the pressure from all over the world. And everybody has to know that Taiwan democracy is a shame. I just want to say thank you so much for having me here, and God bless, and long live Tai Chi Men, and long live America.
Thank you, Mooney. Thank you, Mooney. So human rights violation for anybody, bullying for anybody should not be allowed, especially this is coming from the government, including the Taxation Bureau. This should not happen. The government is formed to serve and protect its people. So next, we'd like to turn to Annie from England to share her experiences and thoughts from her background. Annie?
Hello, hi, everyone. Hi. Thank you. Sorry, my internet is not stable, so let's see if how much I can. I would like to echo Mooney because it's inconceivable that in a democratic country that the prosecutor, the tax official can do their own way, can do the wrong things and not be held accountable. I think that's the fundamental rule, the law and order of a democratic country, that the government have authority. The government should know their power, their limit. And if the government do something wrong, they should be held accountable and be punished. Now I live in the UK, and that I feel I'm respected and protected because we have very clear system, including law, regulation, and the judicial system. So if the government do anything wrong, then we know we have the we have the channel to seek redress and the remedy from justice. Let me give you an example. Currently, the UK and the EU is during the Brexit debate. So back to maybe a year ago, few months ago, there's a debate in the UK Parliament. And the Prime Minister, because he wants to kind of do something with our Parliament, so he kind of shut down the Parliament. Then the Prime Minister have no power, have no right to shut down the Parliament. So the Prime Minister have to kind of, reverse the decision. It is very difficult to imagine that a tax officer or a tax bureau under the Minister of Finance can ignore the court ruling. They can interpret the gift as tuition as they want. This is so ridiculous. I mean, what is the, who is behind all this state violence? How can this government official do wrong thing and not held accountable and not be punished? I mean, that's really against the foundation of a nation, the foundation of a democracy. So we are still, I mean, this case haven't settled yet, but I think we have more and more friends, international friends, experts. They are standing with us. They know the true story. They know the story. They know the justice need to be prevailed. So it's really it's really a journey. It's a hard journey. I mean, I can't really say more about what the brothers and sisters doing in Taiwan with passionate, with hope, with energy. They're persistent. I really wish I could be with them, but I think we also get the support internationally from many friends and many people. And we can't give up. We should not give up. This is our fight, not only for ourselves, but also for the people. They can't really voice out like us. They can't really persist for 25 years. So, I mean, let's continue. I believe that's the silver line at the end. We will get there. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Annie, for your sharing. And I think you're right that as we are speaking more of these out loud to international experts and friends around the world, we are getting more feedbacks as well to how ridiculous this case is, and we are continuing to persevere. So next we have a friend from Canada. Linda, if you would like to share with us your story.
Hello, my name is Linda. I became Taiji Men in early 1995 when I was just 17. Soon after my 18th birthday in the same year, only after practicing Taiji Men Kung Fu for about 4 or 5 months, I moved to Canada. I live here in the past 25 years and continue practicing Taiji Men Kung Fu on a daily basis. It helps me tremendously to finish my education and be the best version of myself. To tell you the truth, back then in 1995, I had suffered suicidal depression for about 8 years then. I was just only 10 when I don't feel like life is making any sense to me. My secret plan was to kill myself when I get to Canada. Well, very fortunately, my uncle introduced me to Taiji Men, and I became a dizi before I moved to Canada. Now all my friends here sees me as a very positive and happy, healthy person, and would never knew that I was such a sad, negative girl. So when Taiji Men case happened 24 years ago, in 1996, I just started the first year of university. Now I'm a postdoctoral research associate working in a pathology research lab at a university in Halifax, Canada. It makes me shake my head every time I think about Taiwanese government, how they did to Taiji Men back in mid-90s. And what boggled my mind even more is that 25 years later, the government still doesn't want to take the responsibility to correct their wrongdoings. The motive of the investigation was not pure. It violates people's freedom of belief. How the government and prosecutor Ho did the investigation was violent, dirty, and unlawful. How they treated our Shifu Shimu brothers and sisters during the investigation was unfair and inhumane. Even the real criminals are treated with more respect and dignity in Canada. But what impressed me and surprised me the most is that despite Taiji Men has been bullied by Taiwanese government and with all the legal and tax troubles that we faced in the past 25 years, or 24, thousands around, if not millions, around the globe has seen cultural exchange program performed by Taiji Men Goodwill Group. Shifu continued to teach all of us 弟子, whether we are in Taiwan or overseas. He continued to teach us to be good, be positive, be compassionate and helpful. He works tirelessly on education and heritage preservations, which is very precious, and lead all of us to spread love and peace around the globe. Guide us, listen to conscience, tell right from wrong. So we believe in oneness. We are all world citizens. Taiwanese government needs to listen to the voice of citizens, close the gap and work together with general public. Rid the corruptions and outdated systems within the government system. Be the real democratic country as it claims internationally. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Linda, for your very honest and sincere message. Despite of everything that is happening, Dr. Hong still reminds us that it's very important that we know the truth, do the right thing, and not settle for anything less in order to help our society. Dr. Hong has also reminded us that to be able to have the heart capacity to love our country, first we must love ourselves by ensuring that we are healthy with our bodies, minds, and souls. We can also learn how to cultivate our hearts with positive energy and conscience. And through the practice of Qigong, Taiji Men have gained all kinds of life treasures. And we've invited several today to share with us their exciting stories on their wellness improvements and personal growth. But first, as we all know, COVID-19 has impacted our lives this year. To help people to be better equipped against the spread of the virus, Taiji Men has put together the 5 do's, 3 don'ts, and 6 tips. Let's watch this short clip and learn about these preventive measures.
As the COVID-19 pandemic continues, we need to take preventative measures to stop the spread. Here are the 5 do's and 3 don'ts, as well as the 6 tips to help you stay safe and healthy. The 5 do's are: wash your hands, drink more warm water, do more exercise, be happy, and be more careful. The 3 don'ts are: don't lose your temper, don't worry, and don't be anxious. The other 6 tips are: wash your hands frequently, wear a face mask, practice social distancing, stay mentally positive, avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth, and increase your lung capacity with breathing exercises. Make sure you follow these tips to keep yourself and others safe. Together, we can get through this.
So these steps are all very simple, and if we can put into our daily practices, it could really make a difference. It can be keeping ourselves and those around us safe and healthy. And we encourage everyone here to utilize this video by sending it to all of our friends and families. Up next, we have a group of Taiji Men who would like to share with us their stories on improving their physical and mental health through the practice of Qigong. So first, I'd like to introduce Wayne, who works in the hospital as an anesthesiologist. While many people are terrified about the risk of COVID, he has found ways to overcome his fears and was able to actually strengthen his immune system. So let's hear how he's able to achieve that.
Hello everyone, my name is Wing Jar. I have been a member of Taiji Men for over 15 years. Today I'm honored to be here to share my experience as to how Taiji Men Qigong has benefited me over the years, especially during the pandemic. I work in the operating room and provide anesthesia to patients in surgery. The nature of this profession puts me into a higher risk of getting infected during this coronavirus outbreak. At the beginning of the pandemic, I was worried and anxious to go to work. However, by practicing Qigong and meditation daily and through the guidance of my Shifu in Taiji Men over the years, I was able to quickly adjust myself mentally and physically to go to work and help the patients most in need during this unique and challenging time. As of now, there is still no magical drug that can absolutely cure the various diseases. Individual immunity plays a key role to fight against the disease and viruses including COVID-19. Qigong has been shown to have many benefits in health, including stress reduction through the balance of the autonomic nervous system, strengthening of the respiratory muscles by practicing abdominal breathing, and strengthen immunity by the increase of immune cells and immunoglobulin through Qigong practice. I have greatly benefited from this by practicing Qigong in Taiji Men over the years. During this pandemic, Taiji Men provides safe, proactive, and preventive measures to help people to build up immunity and prevent disease. There are 3 don'ts and 5 do's to prevent diseases. 3 don'ts are don't lose your temper, don't worry, and don't be anxious. 5 do's are wash your hands frequently, drink more warm water, do more exercise, be happy, and be more careful. I highly recommend people to practice these measures to maintain a healthy body. Finally, I wish everyone continued health and happiness. Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne, for joining us through video. And as an anesthesiologist working on the front lines of COVID, it is so important to take care of your physical and even mental health. And excuse me. And it's amazing to hear how Qigong has allowed Wayne to maintain his healthy mind and body, to keep himself energized so he can also take good care of his patients. And as you can see today, there are many Taiji Men Dizes all over the world. So next, we would like to welcome Herlis, who currently lives in Lesotho, South Africa, to share her personal story.
Hey everyone. Okay, so when we look back to 2020, we can find that physical mental health is very important to us. This year's COVID-19 has caused the global economy to fall and politics have been affected. This has caused great harm to people's physical mental health. Changes in lifestyle have caused everyone's unaccustomedness and inconvenience. Self-protection at home has also caused everyone to fall into trouble of mental damage, anxiety, tension, and irritability cause mental instability. The health protection manual that Shifu gave to the world to restore physical mental health, it contains 3 don'ts and 5 do's. So I hope everyone can make a good use of it in our daily life. So as I live in Lesotho and South Africa, the people in Lesotho and South Africa, they don't really wear masks. So I think they think that there is no virus around us at all. But when they see Asian people or yellow people, they'll keep a distance from us because they think that we are the one who transfer and spread the virus. So in addition, during the lockdown period across the country, the Chinese and white people were robbed and killed frequently due to no work, no pay. There were even fake policemen wearing police uniforms blocking vehicles along the road to ask for money. The gap in public security caused panic. An epidemic caused more than just healthy injuries, but more important is the mental illness. So as I'm a Taiji Men Dizi, I grew up since I'm very young at Taiji Men. So I will try to calm down my breath to stable my mind. And Shifu told us that martial artists do not lose their tempers. So when I'm getting angry, this sentence will appear in my mind. Qigong can make me stable my mind and also make me live in a healthy life. So I think we should spread the happiness around the people because the COVID-19 has already affected so many people. So I think we should keep themselves happy. I think everyone should keep themselves happy every time. Thank you.
Thank you, Hurlis, for sharing your story. I think it's fascinating to see how different countries or even people react to the pandemic. It's very different across different regions. And when there's a gap in security where you live, as you mentioned, you're still able to calm down and not lose your temper. So it's commendable that you focus on the positive, as you earlier noted that because the virus has already affected so many people, more happiness should be spread. So our next speaker is actually the same age as me, a junior in college. From San Jose, let's invite Evelyn to talk about her positive results from joining Tai Ji Men.
Hi, Gil. Thanks for the introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm Evelyn, and I'm a junior at USC. And throughout my time at Tai Ji Men, I have learned a lot, and I think my takeaways can be divided into two main categories. So first, Tai Ji Men has taught me how to take care of my health and body. And second, Tai Ji Men has taught me ways to improve my temper and the way that I react to situations. I will begin by talking about my health. Like many other Bay Area students, throughout high school, I prioritized all of the activities that I thought would help me get into college and hanging out with my friends before my well-being. During my senior year, I was a captain of the cheerleading team, a flute and piccolo player in an orchestra. I helped organize a fashion show with 200 or 300 students to raise money for charity, and I had various other activities all on top of going out with my friends. But looking back, I had too much to handle, and I didn't even really truly enjoy all of the activities. In fact, I think they required more than 24 hours in a day, and I didn't realize the impact that all of the sacrificed rest time, time to eat full, healthy meals, and most of all, sleep would harm me. During high school, I was frequently sick and I had a weak stomach. And even after I started college and started maintaining a more normal schedule, I continued to feel the consequences of the years of abuse on my body. In one particularly bad incident, I had a stomach ache so painful that I passed out while I was walking. And after I joined Tai Ji Men, I learned Qigong that helps me with my mental and my physical health. I have found that practicing Qigong and meditating before bed calms my mood. It helps me reduce my anxious thoughts. It improves my sleep quality, and it actually helps me wake up earlier. And practicing Qigong also warms up my body and my circulation. Before I started practicing Qigong, I frequently had very dark eye circles and a very gray complexion. But now, even when I don't wear makeup, I think I have a more natural, healthier complexion. And in terms of my temper, Tai Ji Men continuously teaches and reminds me of the importance of love and peace in my life. I have always been really short-tempered and fast-paced, and while this has not fully changed, I'd like to think that I've gotten a little bit more patient with the people and the situations around me. When I start to get irritated or frustrated, I try to remember to do breathing exercises before I start getting panicked or angry. And the most effective one that I like to do is to take a really deep breath and let it out very slowly in a small stream of air. Also, I think Tai Ji Men's reminders to spread love and peace help me be more sympathetic to other people and to try and speak in a way that will make them feel comfortable and happy. For example, I used to get irritated and express frustration when people ask me to help them with things that I think are relatively simple or that they can do on their own. Now I try to be encouraging and show my confidence in their skill sets as a more positive way to achieve the result of them doing a task on their own. So in conclusion, I have learned a lot and have experienced many benefits from my time at Tai Ji Men, and I hope to continue improving my own health, my temper, as well as helping to improve and bring positivity to the lives of other people around me and to the world.
All right, thank you, Evelyn, for sharing your stories with us. I think we can all agree that the world can all use a bit more love and peace, and that includes loving and having peace within ourselves. So next, I would like to introduce James, who is actually joining us from Washington, D.C. James, you joined Tai Ji Men 5 years ago. I'm very excited to learn how practicing Qigong has impacted your life. Please share with us.
Oh, yes, thank you. I learned of Tai Ji Men through my wife. And yes, about 5 years ago, I joined for health reasons. I have sinus congestion problems, and it was very difficult for me to breathe and even sleep at night. But many of the Qigong exercises have helped me open up my sinuses, reduce the congestion, and now I actually breathe much better and sleep at night. I also, many years ago, injured my knee playing sports. and it just never fully healed. But several Qigong exercises have helped me strengthen and improve my knee and alleviate that lingering pain that I used to suffer for many years. And finally, as a computer programmer, you can imagine I spent many years with bad posture hunched over a computer, and that took its toll. Neck and shoulder problems. It just hurt to go to work. But many of the Qigong exercises have helped me loosen my neck and shoulder muscles and open up my chest where it doesn't hurt to just go to work. The Qigong exercises that Shifu has taught us have helped not only improve and heal specific parts of my body, but have helped to improve and heal my whole body as a whole system. So the Qigong, excuse me, the Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy has greatly improved the quality of my life. Thank you.
Thank you, James. It's wonderful to hear how your health has improved tremendously through the practice of Qigong. And now I would like to invite Lily. Lily also first joined Tai Ji Men due to health reasons. And year after year, with the guidance of Dr. Hong, she has learned so much about herself and realized how her actions can actually impact the world in a very positive way. So please share with us your experience, Lily.
Hi, good day, everyone. I'm very honored to be here to share with you my experience with Tai Ji Men Qigong. I live in the United States, and I have been a Tai Ji Men member for 18 years. I joined Tai Ji Men because 19 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. And after I finished my treatment, about 1 year after I finished my treatment, I joined Tai Ji Men for the health reason, of course. And at Tai Ji Men, just like you said, you heard a lot of brothers and sisters share that this is a place that are full of positive, kind people. And with Shifu's guidance, actually Shifu has not only teaches me Qigong to improve my health, more importantly, Shifu has awakened my conscience. So following my guidance and my conscience, I have really changed. And people around me have noticed the differences. For example, my mom said, "Oh, you are really a changed person." And my niece said, "Oh, you no longer complain a lot like before." So I really have changed a lot, and I like the new me. Before I joined Tai Ji Men, I only cared about myself, my family, and friends. And now I have put in countless volunteer hours to promote love, peace, and conscience, because conscience is so important. And I follow my Shifu to have meetings with presidents, UN ambassadors at the United Nations. And we are very glad that last year, the United Nations adopted the draft resolution submitted by the Kingdom of Bahrain and declaring April 5th as International Day of Conscience. When I heard of the passage of this day, I was so touched because of our collective efforts. Now we have a day that serves as a great tool to awaken people's conscience. And with people's conscience awakened, the whole world will be very, very different. So I'm very glad that I have been part of a very, very important endeavor. And we have made a very meaningful difference in the world. And you see, Tai Ji Men, we have shared, brother and sister have shared, Tai Ji Men doesn't just concern Taiwan only. It belongs to the whole world. And we have been promoting love and peace and conscience all over the world, and also the health tips, the manual of disease prevention. We have done so much for the world. So not resolving this case is really a big loss to the world, because we have put in so much money, energy, and time trying to resolve this case that shouldn't have happened in the first place. The tax bill is invalid from the very beginning. So I'm here today to voice my support for Tai Ji Men, and I hope that more people around the world will also voice their support for Tai Ji Men, so to push the Taiwanese government to resolve this case as soon as possible, so we can put more energy and time to help people of the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lily. It's actually really amazing to hear about your journey with Taiji Men, from having no recurrence of your cancer for the past 18 years through practicing Qigong to learning how you learn to broaden your heart and affect citizens of the world with conscience. And like Lily shared, on July 25th in 2019, the United Nations declared April 5th as the International Day of Conscience. So through this day, Dr. Hong wishes that the conscience in everyone's hearts be awakened, as it can guide our everyday words and also actions. So for our audience members who might not know, even before in 2000, Dr. Hong established the Federation of World Peace and Love, or abbreviated as FOPAL, to actively spread the idea of love and peace through various means, such as cultural exchanges and solemn ceremonies of ringing the bell of world peace and love. So also, despite the injustice, as we saw as presented by many of our speakers earlier in today's forum, imposed against Taiji Men by the Taiwan Tax Bureau for the past 24 years, volunteers of FOPAL still continue to follow the footsteps of Dr. Hong to spread the message of love, peace, and conscience to other heads of states and also citizens of other countries. So this creates a ripple effect, I believe, and positive energy spreads to almost every corner of the world. And in fact, Taiji Men Dizis have been to 101 countries to date. So now let's take a look at the various places Dr. Hong and Taiji Men Dizis have visited, and also the remarks made by different ambassadors and other world leaders on Taiji Men's contributions to the world.
Over the past 50 years, Taiji Men Dizi have been not only practicing Qigong to improve themselves physically, mentally, and spiritually, but also conducting various forms of cultural exchanges to spread the ideas of conscience, love, and peace. Taiji Men has never done any fundraisers or accepted any public donations. Taiji Men Shifu and Dizi have self-funded trips to 101 nations and presented over 3,000 performances to foster a culture of peace.
For the past 35 years since its founding, your esteemed organization has upheld its objectives of loyalty, filial piety, love of the country, and love of society.
Taiji Men is an ancient Menpai of Qigong and martial arts, passed down from generation to generation. It's like a big warm family. All Dizi are energetic and healthy, physically and mentally. Under Zhang Menzhen's leadership, the Dizi not only practice self-cultivation, but also spread kindness to help the world. Through international culture exchanges, they foster love for the world, promoting the idea of love and peace worldwide.
Every time we see Taiji Men, we see energy, warmth, and love. We all admire Dr. Hong's compassion and would like to see Taiji Men practice this worldwide. Let Taiwan stand out and let the world come in.
Furthermore, under the Zhang Menren's leadership, Taiji Men has been actively promoting Taiwan all over the world as a non-government organization, bringing Taiwan to the international forefront. In the future, with Dr. Hong's leadership, I hope that Taiji Men will continue to work with the government. Let us use our positive influence and move Taiwan forward with continued progress. Let the world see Taiwan.
Let me tell you, it's very emotional. And for me, it's been a great experience. Having a World Summit for Love and Peace, this is what the world needs. So I want to commend you, and I want to somehow show you my support and the support of the Dominican people.
We really appreciate this ceremony because it has to do with the most important values that my country has embraced.
A very simple golden
round-shaped bell like this can change the world if our heart goes with that sound, the sound of world peace and love.
Truly, truly inspiring, and I hope that I will be able to give to the message that Dr. Hong has brought us tonight. Thank you.
Taiji Men understands this, that our conduct must mirror our words, must match our sentiments, and examples of the kind before you today are pointers in the direction in which we should travel.
This is the efforts of this organization to inspire humanity into truly treading a path that will be sustainable and that will promote well-being for all life forms and happiness for the human being.
Although Taiji Men Shifu and 弟子 have been persecuted for over 2 decades, they continue to foster love, peace, and conscience around the world. The Taiwanese government should redress injustices against Taiji Men and truly respect this precious cultural group, which has been a great cultural advocate for Taiwan.
So as we saw in the video, Taiji Men is an ancient Menpai of Qigong and martial arts that's passed through generations and generations. So we can really see that in addition to practicing self-cultivation, Taiji Men Dizis also spread positive energy to communities all over the world. So they have brought Taiwan to the international forefront, and I really resonate with what Governor of New South Wales in 2000, the Honorary Gordon Samuel stated. He said that Dr. Hong and Taiji Men Dizis act in correspondence to their words and sentiments. So I believe that words alone may not be as powerful, but through change and action, more hearts can be touched. And we are able to see Taiji Men's impact on leaders all over the world as well, inspiring them to act on the goal of love, peace, and conscience. And up next, we actually have a panel of Taiji Men Dizis who would like to share their vivid experiences and growth from promoting the culture of love and peace. First, I would like to introduce Michael from Los Angeles, who will be sharing his experience as a volunteer and also a small story about the Bell of World Peace and Love that we saw in the video. Michael, the floor is yours.
Greetings. As the Director of Communications for the Federation of World Peace and Love, it's been my great privilege to be part of an organization that has spent the last 20 years traveling to every populated continent. Our mission has been pretty straightforward: to create an opportunity for world peace by inspiring world citizens to acknowledge that regardless of our nationality, faith, or race, that we are interconnected and share common aspirations for peace and stabilities in our lives. We aim to touch the lives of the people we meet through cultural exchanges and leaders through the ceremony of ringing the bell of world peace and love. Through our travels, Taiji Men members have consistently joined us in participating in our cultural exchanges, providing an immeasurable energy to the exchanges. A common message that we share is that the key to sustainable peace and prosperity resides in us all, if we listen to our voice of conscience. We do not pretend that there are not obstacles to this lofty goal. After all, if it were easy, lasting peace would have already been achieved over the span of human history. Perhaps the greatest obstacle we have encountered is overcoming the greed of the human heart and the corruption it fosters. For example, in more than one country we visited, custom officers have seen our golden bell of peace that weighs hundreds of pounds, and they have tried to extract a bribe from us in order to let it pass out of customs. And so, standing on principle, what we do is we inspire their conscience to let that bell pass without paying that bribe. So it's really important in our mind to go out and fight corruption, especially governmental corruption, which it violates the human rights of the citizens of the countries in which they live. So one thing that we encourage is that every nation must have potent systems to prevent and root out corruption. After all, our conscience informs us, there cannot be peace without justice, and strong human rights protections forms that foundation for justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. I think the story that you shared about the custom officers was really interesting. And Taiji Men Shifu and Dizi truly stand by their values of conscience, and the effect of love and peace can be tangible, like how the officers let the bell pass after understanding its purpose. Like you said, conscience is the voice inside us all, and I agree that our conscience is really important to reach the world that we dream of. So next, I would like to welcome Nunu to share her thoughts on how she was able to find positivity during this unprecedented year. Nunu?
Hello, everyone. My name is Nunu Thon. I'm a Burmese living in Los Angeles, California. I practiced Tai Ji Men Qigong for over 25 years, and it really helped me to improve my physical and mental health. People around me love my smiling face and happy energy. For the passing years, I've joined Tai Ji Men Cultural Goodwill Group to visiting different countries. Following with Dr. Hong, the Grandmaster of Tai Ji Men, spreading love and peace and how people in the world can unite together with good heart and do the good deeds together. I've been joined many meetings in the United Nations of New York and also visited South Korea and Salt Lake City for NGO conferences. This year, because of the pandemic, we were unable to spread the message of love and peace with conscience in person to other countries. But fortunately, under the guidance of Sifu, we organized many online events on social media to support the United Nations International Days to promote the culture and education of conscience and to bring peaceful energy to the world. The difficult challenges during the pandemic do not stop the action of spreading love and positive. I am very proud of being the member of Tai Ji Men family, doing this volunteer job to spread love and peace. I've met many different countries from friends. I meet the many friends from the different countries around the world and working together to spreading the message of conscience, love and peace. I would like to say thank you to Dr. Hong to let me know how to love myself, love my family, and love the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Nunu, for sharing your experiences this past year. This pandemic has definitely been very difficult for everyone around the world, but we must remember that our actions towards positivity doesn't ever stop, just like you said. Our next speaker, Jeff, is from New York, which was one of the hotspots for a really strict stay-at-home order towards the beginning of the year. So I'm excited to hear how he was able to find peace and happiness during these difficult times. Please share your experience with us.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff, and I joined Tai Ji Men in 1993. And when I was 7, so it's been more than 25 years. And yeah, I've been following Shifu and brothers and sisters to attend cultural exchange and sharing events in the UN headquarters in New York City. And so sometimes I will take a day off to attend the events or prepare for the events, but sometimes I'm just too busy at work, so I would just use my lunch break or like after work in the evenings. So, but like every time I go there, I was like, oh, why am I doing this? I'm so tired already. Why am I going to those events and to meet all those like strangers for me? But like every time after those events, I feel like I'm so glad I can, because actually in those events, you share your energy, you share your happiness with those people. You actually got more energy and more happiness back from the people, like from because you know those people are there are like human beings, and they appreciate your sharing and appreciate you brought the happiness and energy to the event. So that I know that to get more energy and more happiness, you need to share more. So during the pandemic, actually New York City is one of the hot hit area, and I've been staying at home for almost a year now, and I think in mid-summer, like in around July or August, I had a couple meltdowns, and I feel like depressed because like we are not able to see the end of the pandemic, and I was like, oh, I can never see my family ever again. I miss a few family weddings. I feel so bad, and so then I reminded myself I need to think of something to generate my energy, right? So I started to call my family and call my friends more, like video chat with my family, video chat with my friends, and so they all appreciate. Like I even reach out to some of the old friends, like over 10 years. We have not been able to reach out to each other, but then I reach out to them, and they say, "Oh, thank you for reaching out. We are safe here in Singapore. We are safe here in Europe," and so we talk a lot, and I have my energy back, and I feel they also have their happiness and energy. So that is what I learned from the those times, those culture sharing events I attend with Shifu and brothers and sisters. I know in order to get more energy and more happiness, you need to first share your energy and happiness first with with other people, and then you'll get your share. Thank you. That's my sharing.
Thank you, Jeff, for sharing how you have been able to generate happiness and energy through this pandemic. The next speaker is someone who I always see presenting the brightest smile whenever I attend cultural events with him. So I look forward to hearing his experiences at the United Nations conference, Rio Plus 20. Ethan, take it away.
Thank you, Andres. That's really nice. Hi, my name is Ethan. I'm a visual artist, visual effects artist in the San Francisco Bay Area. Thank you for having me, and it's my honor to have the chance to share some stories that happened along my journey with Tai Ji Men. Hopefully, my story can provide a little bit more background story about us. I've been volunteering with Tai Ji Men for as long as I can remember. In this wonderful group, one of our main mission is to spread the idea of love and peace through various ways. Culture performance is one of them. We practice all forms of performances, like different types of dancing, singing, martial arts, or sometimes even stage play. Any kind of performance that shows how important the idea of love and peace is. And we travel to practice culture exchange at main event that took place all around the world. Like Gil was saying in the video was calling out, to date, we have traveled to 101 nations. Now, at this point, you might wonder, what does singing and dancing have to do with the idea of love and peace? Can a song or a dance really change the world? To be totally honest, I had that doubt too. But here's a personal story that happened during Rio Plus 20, the UN conference that took place in Rio de Janeiro in 2012. Brazil is the first country I visited with an official language I never encountered before, which is Portuguese. It's really fresh to me. Like when we first step out of the airport, my first instinct was trying to find something that I can read, and immediately I failed. Like there was no English, there were no any other kinds of translation at all, and I felt like I was in a total stranger world. But this little setback did not stop us. And during our stay, the main way to communicate was sign language and our smiles, like Andres saying. And to my surprise, this powerful combo actually took us through the entire journey. That made me start thinking, yes, language is a very important tool. It can also be a barrier, but a big shiny smile on a person's face will always be our universal language. But what really changed my world was what happened on the last day. We were all packed up and we're ready to leave. Everyone was tired, and a bunch of us were just sitting on the curbside for, waiting for further instruction. Like, we're just sitting there. But from far away, we started to hear this very energetic drum beat. A group of percussion musicians were marching towards us on our way. And I was like, oh man, I really just want to rest. Just sitting there looking at them. But one of our sisters, who was a drummer in our band, jumped right up, took her drumstick, and started dancing with them. And let me remind you that we're all packed up already, like our drums are already packed. So she was literally just dancing with them with 2 drumsticks. Then another sister who played Chinese flute started to play with them. And in fact, whoever knew music joined them, joined the march. All of a sudden, I was the odd one, the dude who didn't know any type of music instrument. So I basically have two options at that moment: keep sitting there on the curb, rest, and watch them enjoy the dance, or grab whatever I can find and join them. As you can guess, before I can realize what's happening, I was already dancing with them with 2 maracas in my hands. It was such an incredible moment. Everything felt like it's in slow motion. It was in slow motion. The enthusiastic beats from the cymbal and the Chinese flute note that sounds like bird chirping. There no rehearsal, yet everything harmonized so well together. And we didn't know each other, but it didn't stop us from dancing together, singing together. And smiles are starting to appear on the face of the audience that our happiness have gathered, and tiredness of our trips are all gone. I felt nothing but pure joy and love. And that moment remains in my memory like a beautiful painting with the brightest color that you can imagine. And it's such a moment that make me certain that we're doing the right thing and it worked. After the dance, we hugged each other. They spoke Portuguese and we spoke English and Mandarin. No one actually understand each other verbally, but all of our hearts were filled with love and peace. And they feel like they're my brother and sister, even though we'd never met before. And it's that kind of feeling is that it's what we want to share: love and peace, the language we all speak, the idea that will bring us together and successfully overcome any obstacle on our way. To this day, this moment is still very important to me. Whenever I'm down, depressed, or facing difficulties, it always brings me joy. And I can't believe the group like Tai Ji Men has been abused by the injustice for 24 years now. What an irony that while we're fighting so hard for love and peace, but our own government treat us like criminals. But I think that is also another very important value of Tai Ji Men. Even while we're suffering, our leader, our Shifu, Dr. Hong Daozi, did not give up at all, and still encourages us to use love to face injustice. And we sure did keep going on our mission to spread love and peace. Year 2020 is a very difficult year. We as a humanity are facing the unknown, but I hope this little story can be a little spark for you to encourage you as it does for me all the time. And to not forget, when there's love, there will be hope. Thank you.
Thank you, Ethan, for sharing your experience at Rio Plus 20. I remember watching videos of the Rio Plus 20 conference and seeing all the bright smiles on people's faces, and that brought a big smile to my face. So I definitely agree that even though there may be language barriers, a smile is universal. I'm sure that the happiness brought from the smiles of the Taiji Men brothers and sisters definitely made a big impact to the spirit of the conference. And so for our next speaker, I would like to introduce Richard, who will be sharing on his experiences from cultural exchanges.
Hello, everyone. My name is Richard, and I'm currently a student as well. As a member of Taiji Men Qigong Academy at a very young age, my goal today is to share my opinion on what Taiji Men represents, as well as its cultural significance in the society. So Taiji Men Qigong Academy was founded by Dr. Hong Daozi with the idea of promoting physical and spiritual health. As the academy expanded quickly through the word of mouth from members like me who saw remarkable improvements in our lives, the academy began shifting its focus on bringing the world together through cultural exchanges. And to set out this noble cause, Taiji Men traveled across 5 continents and hosted many cultural events and forums that are attended by world leaders and important grassroots figures, and as well as ordinary individuals. And I was actually fortunate enough to go on one of these trips that involved dance performances and meeting with locals to bridge connections and understandings. And what stood out to me the most was the trip to the Kingdom of Kiribati. And that country is actually disappearing fast due to the global warming. And it's something very sad to witness, actually. And while I was there, we were on a tour bus driving on a narrow road surrounded by the ocean, and saw houses that were once built on land there, but were actually now submerged underwater. And yet you see the Kiribati people continue to courageously confront these challenges, even though they lack a lot of necessary resources. And it's actually through traveling with Taiji Men did I witness the severity of many social issues, such as income inequality and the damaging impact of climate change on people's lives. So traveling with Taiji Men to promote love and peace around the world has actually given me the opportunity to raise awareness on people's sufferings. I would like to end my speech today by emphasizing that Taiji Men is a nonprofit, non-governmental organization with no affiliation with any companies or institutions. And I can attest to that because my trips to all these places like Kiribati are actually paid out of my own pocket, and they are not cheap. And Taiji Men is a cultural group that is dedicated to promoting love and bridging differences around the world. And this is accomplished by a group of extremely passionate world citizens who want to make this world a better place for our next generation and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard, for your thoughts on promoting peace, love, and conscience. In our world today, there's been a lot of demonstrations of hatred and divide. And so I really resonate with what you said about how it's really important that we bridge our differences and promote love. And I believe that positivity and messages of love and peace that Taiji Men brings to the world is reforming the bridges between all of our differences. So next, I would like to introduce Yin, who will be sharing her thoughts on what she has learned from Shifu in promoting peace, love, and conscience. Yin?
Hi everyone, my name is Yin. I'm a Taiwanese as well as a Dutch. I've been a Taiji Men Dizi since I was 9 years old. Over the years, I have had the great fortune to travel to a few countries with Shifu and other Dizi to spread the message of love and peace. From the UN summit in Germany to the National Museum in Bahrain, we've not only seen the world and conducted cultural exchanges, we've also connected with many people who share our vision to make the world a better place with love and peace. During all of our journeys, what has inspired me most is Shifu's constant determination to spread positive energy. On days when our schedule felt relentless and many of us felt like we couldn't go on, Shifu always pushed forward, stayed fast in his commitment to spread the message of love and peace to every corner of the globe. I often watch Shifu interact with prominent world leaders and heads of state. These meetings were never about big words and pretty speech. Instead, I witnessed genuine interactions with simple words, full of sincerity and goodwill. Such things transcend the boundaries of culture and language. Shifu has told me by examples that everything is possible. All we need to do is believe in ourselves and stay positive. Because of this, our delegation has been to over 101 countries and conducted over 3,000 cultural performances. We've got numerous heads of states, royals, and world leaders to join us because our message is simple and because world peace is our shared vision. Our thoughts guide our actions and shape the world around us. As long as we believe in ourselves and keep on striving, we will have the chance to create a world of justice and peace. What the world needs now is certainly more love, more conscience, and more hope. And the first step to reaching that place is through our positive thoughts and actions. Join us in our mission to change the world, one heart at a time. Thank you.
Thank you, Yin. I think we can all agree with your message that the first step to reach a better place is through our positive thoughts and action. And although this year has presented many unexpected challenges, with hope and persistence in love and peace, I believe we can change the world. And as we move forward, we need to come together to give the world and its citizens more love, more hope, and more conscience. So at the same time, in working towards a world filled with love and peace, we also need to put human rights at the forefront. The most fundamental human rights, including taxpayer rights that we talked about a lot in the beginning of today's forum, also the right to life, the right to religious freedom should all be universally protected. And in 1948, the United Nations published the Universal Declaration of Human Rights to declare December 10th as Human Rights Day. To recover from the pandemic and build a better future, we need to not only take preventive measures like the 3 don'ts and 5 do's, but also work together to safeguard everyone's inalienable fundamental human rights. So now let's turn our attention to hear the voices of human rights from all over the world.
Authoritarianism and nationalism make no sense against the global threat. My call to action for human rights spells out the central role of human rights in crisis response, gender equality, public participation, climate justice, and sustainable development. On Human Rights Day and every day, let's resolve to act collectively with human rights front and center to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic and build a better future for all.
As the COVID-19 pandemic continues, we need to take preventative measures to stop the spread. Here are the 5 do's and 3 don'ts, as well as the 6 tips to help you stay safe and healthy. The 5 do's are: wash your hands, drink more warm water, do more exercise, be happy, and be more careful. The 3 don'ts are: don't lose your temper, don't worry, and don't be anxious. The other 6 tips are: wash your hands frequently, wear a face mask, practice social distancing, stay mentally positive, avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth, and increase your lung capacity with breathing exercises. Make sure you follow these tips to keep yourself and others safe. Together, we can get through this.
With strong solidarity, we can build a world that is more resilient, sustainable, and just. Join me in standing up for human rights.
In recent years, there is an emerging taxpayers' human rights violation issue. The taxes levied directly impact people's property rights, the right to life, and other fundamental human rights. It also affects the continued existence of the family, the survival of children's growth, the stability of social and economic development. Taxpayers' human rights have become part of the international trend of acknowledging the universal applicability of human rights. European Court of Human Rights stated in the case of year 2011 that taxes cannot be used as a tool to persecute groups a government has labeled as cults. Taxation based on human rights must be implemented so that every nation can enjoy prosperity and peace.
72 years have passed since the United Nations adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. a human charter to respond to the carnage and denigration of our human dignity wrought by World War II. On this Human Rights Day, we must reflect on how far the international community has advanced and defended the inalienable fundamental rights of humanity.
Any agenda on human rights and recovery in the COVID-19 era must be just and inclusive, safeguarding and protecting the rights and dignity of women and young girls.
It's much more difficult to hide it when it is presented on so many websites and in so many papers and so many organizations sending letters of concern to your ministries and so on.
After 24 years of political repression, the Taiwanese government still deeply entangles Taiji Men disciples and grandmaster with fake tax bills, affecting the reputation of ancient culture that has been passed down for thousands of years. We urge the government to make the right decision conscientiously and act in accordance with the law. Under a true democracy, the government has the responsibility to repeal illegal taxation and return justice and happiness to Taiji Men grandmaster and his disciples.
Hi, so in the video we saw that a lot of the world leaders, like including Dr. Renee Wadlow, who is the president of the Association of World Citizens, have highlighted the need to place humanity first. And in doing so, there are three most important factors that need to be addressed. The first being fair tax, the second being epidemic and pandemic prevention, and the last being safety. And as the hosts have introduced them in the beginning of today's forum, Taiji Men's false tax case is moving into its 25th year. And the case has inflicted a lot of pain and suffering on Shifu, Shimu, and Taiji Men Dizi. So pain did not numb the pain, but rather intensified it. And scholars from various professions have expressed that the battle for Taiji Men is a battle for the most essential human rights. Without further ado, I would like to introduce a video where leaders from all over the world speak on religious freedom and the actions we can all take to stand by Taiji Men.
I'm very pleased that Poland is hosting this year's ministerial. We have a centuries-long tradition of peaceful coexistence among various religious groups. Also today, protection and promotion of freedom of religion or belief constitutes a cornerstone of human rights policy in Poland.
Commonly, we share a conviction in the fundamental dignity of every human being, believers and non-believers alike, and in what my nation's founder described as the unalienable rights of every man, woman, and child. And indeed, today's event gives me hope that others are rallying to our noble cause. Let's keep up our work to secure freedoms in our home countries and to speak up on behalf of victims of religious persecution all around the world. Let's proceed with the understanding that faith is eternal and tyranny must be overcome. And let's all pray for our success.
Religious freedom and tolerance are vital ingredients for the health and long-term success of all societies.
Making it more important than ever to counter extremist narratives and to promote and protect freedom of religion and belief.
I call upon political and religious leaders to reject all forms of extremism and protect freedom of expression and universal human rights.
This is the time to advocate for increased tolerance and understanding between individuals, cultures, and religion. To stand up for the freedom of religion and belief.
Let me reassure that Italy is and will continue to be at the forefront in the promotion and protection of freedom of religion or belief.
Here in Taiwan, religious freedom is enshrined in our constitution and has become part of our daily life. I'm proud to say that Taiwan is standing with like-minded partners to defend freedom to believe and to help victims of intolerance.
I think that we should all stand by Taiji Men because, again, as the video brilliantly said, the battle of Taiji Men is the battle for the most important, most essential human right, religious freedom, is the battle for freedom, is the battle for liberty, is the battle for justice, it is the battle for equal treatment of all before the law.
Let me conclude by saying I commend Taiji Men for not giving in. It is never too late to do the right thing, and the government of Taiwan should do the right thing and eliminate the tax from 1992, which is just absurd considering what has happened for 1991 and the other years, and to restore the property that was unlawfully seized.
Although there was no concrete evidence at all for the charges, Prosecutor Hu did not drop the case, but instead sent it to private prosecutors. The defendants were then subjected to a series of lengthy court appearances and hearings. This was very costly for the defendants, as it took immense resources in the form of time and money, as well as causing irreparable damage to their reputation.
But they just sell our property. That's why we went to the street. I don't remember how many times I was on the street shouting for the justice. I got a sunburn. I lost my voice many, many times. And I keep thinking, why I'm doing this and why they are not listening to people what we said. I feel so bad. But every time when I listen to that home, keep encourage us. Please insist what we are doing because this is the right thing to do.
The ongoing case involving Taiji Men is unacceptable, to say the least, generally speaking, and also very difficult to understand from a legal, purely legal point of view. For instance, basing on the legal principle of estoppel, it should not be argued or asserted that Taiji Men have to pay taxes for the disputed year 1992, as there should be no dispute at all.
So that's why we plan to continue to study the Taiji Men case and to ask justice for Taiji Men, because this case may become a bad or perhaps a good important international precedent. And our next step will be to publish a white paper summing up what happened and calling the attention of the international community on the importance of this case.
So from our discussion of human rights violation to promoting peace, love, and conscience, I believe that from today's takeaway from this event, that Taiji Men, despite being oppressed by the government, still made great contribution to Taiwan, to the United Nations, as well to the world. So as we can feel from today's sharing that minutes of human rights violation is unbearable, unjustifiable, and unreasonable. The human rights violation against Taiji Men Shifu, Shimu, and disciples has been going on for 24 years. As we begin the meeting this year today, it is officially going into its 25th years. For people of Taiji Men to remember this horrifying day on December 19th, 1996, every year right before Christmas is excruciating. We're very fortunate to have everybody here today, so many people around the world gather, and all of you guys online here today speak out for the injustice that we have been dealing with for the past 24 years. And it is still unfortunate that we are going into the 25th years. I believe with more people working together, we'll end this human rights violation and return justice. And once for all, we are calling for people around the world to help spread the message, to let more people know about the case against Taiji Men and speak out for us, to help us find justice and peace in mind, and help other people in Taiwan and around the world as well. So we continue to do what our Shifu, Dr. Hong, has been leading us to do, spread the message and the movement of love, peace, and conscience around the world, to spread the positive energy for everybody. And before we finish, we have to remind everybody that what we do will help the world. We have to prioritize the taxation system, the legal system, prioritize the pandemic prevention, and also prioritize our safety. So we would like to thank everybody, all the speakers here today, participating with us, and everybody online watching the video live with us, being with us all and leaving positive messages to support everyone. So please help us spread the message as we continue on to fight for justice and fight for human rights. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.